Hello, YouTubers. Happy weekend to us all, innit, eh? Well, I thought I'd get myself on here because, I've been hearing some bad news I have on my tablet. Yes, I have. It's all over the iPad at the moment about your grooming something or other gangs and your child exploitation people going on up in your northern towns. Well, not even northern towns. I mean, I wouldn't call Oxford North, but hey ho, whatever. Yes, apparently this has been going on for years. I mean, Kel Surprise, look how old I am, and it was going on when I was young. I mean, everybody knew about it. It's one of them things that everyone knew about and nobody talked about, let alone did anything about. And then you got all these people on there, and they're all going on and on and on about, who's this chap? I don't know what his name is. He's a little bloke. He is, I think they call him Tony Randall. Oh, I don't think I'm allowed to say his name on VooTube, actually. I think I'll probably, I don't know. Anyway, I've said it. They call him Tony Randall, so I'm just going to say TR for here because I don't want to get into trouble with your logarithms. And apparently, he's only a little person, he is. Apparently, he's like a little ditty man, he is. And he's only a young lad as well, really. And he's got himself up around the place, and he's sort of helping these girls out, he is. He's putting their furniture into storage, he's moving their house so they can make a new start, so they can get over the trauma. And I mean, it did strike me as a bit weird because everyone's having a row in the comment section calling him names. They're saying he's a racist or homophobic or something, I don't know. But the way I look at it is this, I think to myself, well, there you go. I mean, what do you mean he's racist? What, doesn't he like Jews? I mean, is he anti-Semitic like your Jeremy Corbyn, is he? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've never looked at him. But, I mean, even if he was anti-Semitic like your Jeremy Corbyn, I mean, the fact is, he's trying to help them girls, isn't he? And when people shout at him and call him names and firebomb his car and are mean to him and really quite nasty when they should actually be helping him and shaking his hand, you know, it's quite sad when, if he's such a bad character, why has it taken him to actually highlight these issues? That's all that strikes me. Because, I mean, I know that, what's his name, Corbyn? I mean, I don't like bloody horrible little Marxist, but he got himself fired from your Labour Party, from your sociopaths, because they didn't like him because he's anti-Semitic or something or other. But, I mean, even if he went around the place and he sees some girls getting hurt and then being outraged and being troubled by well, grown adults really, on an industrial scale, and if it took your Jeremy Corbyn to stand up in the Houses of Parliament, which it didn't, I might add, but just enter my fantasy land for a minute, and if it did take your Jeremy Corbyn, that outrageous anti-Semite, to stand up in Parliament and say, listen up you, this is what's going on, and we need all the authorities, the public people whose wages we pay and salaries we pay, we need them to get their fingers out and we need them to do something about it, because in Britain we've got the Children's Act, and under the Children's Act 1989, children have got rights in the same way that everybody else has got rights. And I mean, if people thought that creatures were being maltreated, I mean, you'd have the RSPCA round, wouldn't you? They'd all be knocking on their doors, wouldn't they? But for some reason, where they're just, no, working class girls, and that's how they think of them, just working class girls. I mean, it's almost like they talk about it like they deserved it because they were poor or they weren't properly educated or something. And I mean, it makes me laugh really, because I do remember a few years ago when you had that Harvey Weinstein in America, and you had that, what's that other bloke, that Bill Cosby, and you had all these grown women who were about 30, 40, 50 years old, some of them, and they were getting themselves around the place, and they were going in TV studios, and they were saying, oh, he used to interfere with me, yes, he used to put stuff in my drink and everything. I went round his hotel room, grown-ass adult though, went round his hotel room, and Kel Surprise, he interfered with me, he outraged me, it was all against my will as well, and they were grown women. I mean, hashtag Me Too just trended all across the world, and all these women were marching around the place, taking their bras off and walking around, all slut walk and everything. I mean, where are they? Where have they all gone? Because why are these girls just left up there like that? Why are they just left like that? And all their families? I mean, isn't it a disgrace? Shouldn't we be angry? I mean, and so what if Tony Randall doesn't like Jews or doesn't like Buddhists or doesn't like Christians or doesn't like eating apples on a Friday? I mean, it doesn't matter about that. The plain fact of the matter is, this is happening. And we all need to be a bit angry about it, we do. We need to demand a bit more help. And not only that, how about that Maggie Oliver? I mean, that Maggie Oliver, a really nice lady she is. I mean, she's only young, bless her heart. But she was up there and she was trying to help these girls. And she was a policewoman at the time. I can't mind whether she was a detective or constable or something. But anyway, she was a policewoman and she resigned because it was her moral duty to resign. She didn't care. She didn't hang around like Wedger and wait till she got her pension or at least some of her pension under her belt and then start banging on about it. She just washed her hands. She thought, oh, I'm not putting up with this. Oh, I can't bear it. And I'll be honest, that's what I would have done. I would have said, no, I ain't getting myself. Because if you know something's going on and you don't do something about it, then in law you're complicit. So all these people that were going around up there and were being paid in the local authorities, well, it doesn't matter what authority, whether it was the police, social, it doesn't matter who they were, if they were not actually doing something about it under the law, as they're bidden to do because of their jobs, and they've just ignored it, then aren't they complicit? I mean, am I just not talking any sense? Oh, I don't know, maybe people can tell me, maybe I'm just going senile, I don't know. But the way I look at it, is your Maggie Oliver, she resigned, and she's been getting herself about the place trying to support these young girls. I mean, you've only got to listen to some of the stuff they've been through. It's absolutely, it's like listening to a horror movie. It is, it's just degrading. And it doesn't matter who's been doing it, it doesn't matter the ethnicity or who they are. The fact is, it's been going on to children, and children should be protected under the 1989 Children Act. There's laws in place. I mean, there's protocols to follow. Why weren't those protocols followed? I mean, it's an interesting question. Now I'm asking it. I mean, why weren't the protocols followed? And how is this little diddy chap, how is he getting so much hatred when all he's trying to do is get himself about the place and save some young girls and help them? I mean, I don't think he'd care who they were. The fact is that they're females and they're working class and they're at the bottom of the pile and no one seems to care. So, I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm going crazy, I don't know what Will did. I mean, in my day, black was black, white was white, right was right and wrong was wrong. I mean, it was so much easier. Nowadays, all the margins are all blurred and you don't really know where you are. It's like you're walking through a mist all the time. Well, it is for me anyway. So, I don't know, I just sort of get myself on here and say that. But, I mean, it does seem a bit weird that if he's such a bad person, this Tony Randall, how come it took such an atrociously awful, bad person to actually highlight what real grown-up men and people, women, whatever, should have actually highlighted? I mean, I don't get it. Personally, when I think of your Tony Randall and your Maggie Oliver, I can't help but hear John Lennon's song in my head. I can't. You remember that Working Class Hero? Yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah, Working Class Hero is something to be, you know. Yeah, mark my words. Some of you men up there giving it the Johnny Big Balls on them podcasts. You want to try listening to John Lennon a bit more, that's what you want to do.